Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. My name is Tim Floyd. I'm a longtime swim coach and triathlon coach. And today, this is another special edition. This is actually a flashback to a camp we had done in the past. This is about 2016. This is with pro triathlete Matt Hanson. And I worked with Matt from around 2013, so the end of his age group career, to the start of his pro career through about 2016. And, we worked on trying to get him under an hour and competitive in the swim for an Ironman. So here is some work we had done in 2016, and you can see what we were doing, what a stroke looked like then, and how we tried to make things better. So here we go. I'll just kind of let it run a little bit. You guys can check it out. Okay, so here is we'll just kind of back it up, and we can start going through a stroke. Show you what we were kind of thinking about, what we were working on. All right, so from the front, he's really symmetrical. He always kind of he was a wrestler, had a hip injury, and that kind of ended his collegiate wrestling career. And you can see a little bit of, he's pretty tight through the hips. And so that's kind of what this recovery looks like, where, it's very symmetrical, but there seems to be some blocks in it where it isn't as fluid as you'd like to see it. And so here we are from the side. So you can see, a little bit like some of the other ones that we've been talking about. His head is a little bit higher than, kind of his feet and his hips. And, what we want is, again, we just want this really, really long, connected, straight body line on the water. And, anytime we get into kind of this position where, you're at an angle where the back end is dropping a little bit, you're just creating more drag and limiting your distance per stroke. So limiting kind of how much efficiency you can get out of each stroke. And then here you can, really see it. We'll stop it right there. You can see pretty clearly that line. So this ends up all being kind of drag that he's pulling against. He does get into a pretty good position right here, kind of that high elbow catch position that you want to see. He lets that elbow slide back a little bit too soon right there, so you can see because he's dropping a little bit of pressure. And then, comes through a little bit on the left side as well. So you can see that elbow drop. And this is where, we get to this point of that, you can teach the technique. Okay, you can teach someone how to do the technique. Sometimes, you need a certain level of strength and conditioning to get to and hold and maintain the technique. But, you want to get it where you're in the right position. He drops the elbow a little bit there, lets go of some of that pressure. So he's not going to get as much going forward. And then, we've also got to try to work on that connection between both sides and the kick. That's kind of what we ended up doing at the end. We also did some other things. This was, I think this day, it ended up being a fairly long session that we worked on. So we tried to get in a lot of stuff. I didn't see him too frequently. He was usually, up in Iowa at the time. So, and here it is from the front. So, this looks really good. I mean, he's got, if we figure midline is here, he could be in a little bit more. He might be able to get a little bit more leverage out of the water there. But, he's doing pretty well. I mean, if we're right, here's midline. Oops. So there is midline. He's skirting that midline on the underwater, on that hand, and then out past his hip. Again, out past his hip. You can see kind of that foot comes down right there, a little bit lower than it should. So this drill came from, that we're going to do next. This came from Mary Foster, who had been one of the coaches on Magnolia Masters at the time. Mary was a Division I distance swimmer, and then we trained her up for a couple 10K swims while she was swimming with the team and coaching. And so this was her working with Matt and doing basically trying to do a connection and timing progression. So we just have one paddle, one fin, one side of the body, and really trying to get that the core to be really, really engaged, and that cross connection between the hand and the foot really, really connected. So then here is what he looks like after. And you can see a lot more stuff is connected up and down the stroke. So we'll back it up again. A lot more of his stroke is connected. You can still see where he's slipping a little bit of water, but, his hips are higher, his feet are higher, and he's a little bit longer and flatter on the water. And that was, kind of some of the progressions that we were trying to do. Here you can see he's holding the underwater a little bit better. So we'll move it forward, put it kind of slow-mo. You can see still where he drops that elbow a little bit. And again, that's a strength and conditioning issue as much as it is a technique issue. So thanks again for tuning in. Please like, share, comment down below. I am happy to answer any questions. You can find us at swimeasyspeed.com or follow us on Instagram at swimeasyspeed. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you the next time.